Greetings and welcome to Cosmic Cab 100, your weekly astro video zine. This is for the week beginning with Friday, the 13th of December, through the 20th of December 2024. So we're going to do a little prayer and then we'll get on with the horoscope. Om, 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 Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha, Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha, Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Brahma Mera Striparan Takare, Banusha Shiva Misato, Buddha Sha, Guru Sha, Shukra, Shani Rahu, Keteva, Sarvigraha, Shantikara Bhavantu. Om Hrim Shukraya Namaha, Om Hrim Gurave Namaha, Om Srimate Namaha. All right. Well, I got a little bit of a late start. I have been under the weather this week, which is kind of rough, and but I'm so grateful for the health I do have. And we're getting ready for a big full moon, and that happens Saturday night, early Sunday morning at 1:02 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And the moon is going to be at the tail end of the constellation of Taurus that night. And it's in a lunar mansion known as Mrigashira. Now, Mrigashira is ruling deity is Soma, which is another name for the moon. And it's sort of like this nectar we get when we're in spiritual bliss. Like if you've really prayed and you just felt like God's answering your prayer and you just in a place of like gratitude and appreciation, sometimes this overwhelming sense of joy or nectar can kind of come down into your body, and it's like a really beautiful thing. Mrigashira is half Taurus, half Gemini, so very shortly after the moon is full in the tail end of the constellation of Taurus, it right away goes into the constellation of Gemini. And the other thing that happens on the 15th, early Sunday morning, is the sun will move out of sidereal Scorpio into sidereal Sagittarius. So this kind of spiritual upliftment should happen. And what else coincides with that is that we've got Mercury going direct. So a lot of things, a lot of pieces will start to kind of come together. And we can use this. Now, I mean, things aren't perfect in the sidereal zodiac. We've still got this retrograde Mars in a debilitated sign, which would be Cancer. Now, in Western astrology, of course, Mars is in Leo, and it doesn't sound so bad in that perspective, but it is going retrograde, so it's going to be back debilitated in both systems pretty soon. And it's just something to just like take note that our emotions can get the better of us sometimes. We can get angry easily. But let's go back to this Mrigashira moon, because this moon deals with shopping and searching. And it is a Mars-ruled nakshatra. And the Mars-ruled nakshatras, Mars is really the lord or leader of logic and is the defender of the earth, and environmental causes really come into focus whenever we look at Mars. And so this part in Mrigashira, it's also like sometimes the legend is that somebody lost their head. It was Brahma created a daughter he loved so much that he wanted to have a relationship with her, and the daughter turned herself into a deer and fled. Brahma turned himself into a stag to go after the deer. It's like, wait, you're my girl, I'm not. And Shiva saw that and says, well, we're not going to have cosmic incest, so the deer's head gets cut off. And in Indian mythology, instead of a man on a moon, they say they see a deer or a rabbit's face in the moon. Both deers and rabbits are fidgety creatures, always in search of the next, green grass they can nibble on. And so there's sort of a fickle nature, and a lot of times in our searching, we end up losing our heads. So we have to guide against that. Now, we have to guard against that, I should say. Now, in Western astrology, the moon will be full in Gemini, and there's two sides to every story, is what we see in that, and that if you're in like a what I call an echo chamber bubble, like if you believe the things a lot of the legacy media and stuff, press has put out about various people and encouraging you to be in fear, and it's really important to get grounded and to look at nature, and that you deserve peace of mind, and know that God is in control, not big business and big corporations. They think they are, but they've only had permission for a short period of time to do this. And as long as we go with what's right, love our families, love our Creator, and be good to the creation, and be grateful for the gifts He's given us, that includes the people and friends around us, we're going to be doing okay. But I just say a little quick prayer, and just Heavenly Father, you love all these people, and they're all part of your creation, and you want to give them the gift of well-being, eternal life, peace of mind. And I just, through this forecast, any kind of wisdom I can shed to them, even in this sign by sign, which most of them just know their sun sign in Western astrology, some know more, but bless them with something that's encouraging, and may this encourage others. Amen. Aho, Tat Sat. And if you like this, please share it. Please subscribe. I'm working on getting to 1,000 subscribers. We're getting close. And you're all really important to me, so thank you. Okay, so we're going to just go really quick here. Greetings, Aries. Welcome to your horoscope. It's like with Mars in Leo, the focus would be on your children, and especially male children if you have boys. And it's also about kind of like taking a trip, or maybe engaging in a physical education class, like a yoga class, a martial arts class, swimming, anything to kind of get yourself into shape. Cross-country skiing, another great exercise. All of that is going to go well. Sun in Sagittarius. It's about your father. It's about teachers you admire or have affected you. And, it's about being able to take some risks to experience something new and exotic. Greetings, Taurus. Welcome to your horoscope. Well, the moon is actually exalted in Taurus. And I actually did a little Vedic printout Rashi chart, North Indian style, of this. And so I'm going to just really quickly put this in front of you so you can look at it. And we go from top, first house, second house, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th. It's a little different than the South Indian style. And I thought, the moon actually gets exalted in Taurus. It's like it's sort of its happy space, and that's where it's been today. And so, it's probably going into Gemini later on today, but what I'm seeing is there's a lot of economic growth. There's a lot of value in your family right now. And Venus in Aquarius, beautifying your workplace, maybe decorating it for the holidays. That's a really choice thing to do right now. There's a lot of transformation. There's a lot of things that aren't in your control right now. So you need a little bit of help. And the best thing in 8th house transits is to ask other people to help you because they want to help you. You're not in power. And that's okay because it's actually good karma for other people to help us. Greetings, Gemini. Welcome to your horoscope. So you've got the benefit of Jupiter and the moon together this weekend. They're both friendly towards each other. They love each other. Sagittarius is your partnership sign, the 7th house. This helps in your relationships. This even helps in your career. It helps how you show up. And with Mercury going direct this week, you're going to feel like, okay, you know, the wheels seemed off the track a little bit, but the wheels are back on the track, and we're chugging along, and we're sharing ideas with each other, and this is an encouraging thing. Now, greetings, Cancer, and welcome to your horoscope. So I know Monday and Tuesday the moon's going to be in Cancer. And so those are really powerful days for you. And we've got, you know, you're probably going through some deep emotional issues. It's really important not to get too aggressive. You know, it's funny how I see a lot of people, like their friends even, and I really admire them, but their favorite thing to do on social media is to find something negative in the world and point it out, like, look how bad that was, you know? And it's like, really? It really takes no genius to find out what's wrong with the world, but to do something good and correct it takes a lot of courage, and you expose yourself to a lot more criticism by trying to do something good than pointing out the negative. Because, you know, like pointing out the negative is just like going downhill. Ooh, it feels so good, you know. I'm so smart, I know what's bad. Don't be that person, you know, really. And I only warn you because of this Mars in your 2nd house. That's your voice in a lot of ways. And there's a little bit of hypercriticism in your communication with Virgo ruling your 3rd house. Mercury's in the 6th right now. That's kind of like a Virgo ruled house, even though it's in Sagittarius. So, yeah, we've got freedom to do everything, but a lot of times people are willing to destroy things to think that that's a bad thing, and because I'm destroying it, I'm showing a virtue. I'd be very careful about what you destroy, because sometimes things are just being used inappropriately. That could end up being good. I mean, not everything. Some things are clearly evil and all that. And don't worry, we got plenty of people on social media to tell us what those things are. Okay. Well, greetings, Leo. Welcome to your horoscope. It's interesting, in a way, you have a lot of power right now, but you also have a certain amount of restraint. And so, between the Mars retrograde and Mercury being retrograde, you're kind of like, okay, how am I going to get this done? Where am I going to go? And some of the higher information you're getting is not completely rooted. It's shadowy, actually. And so, or it's eccentric, or, you know, it seems like it's not rooted. It might actually be good, but it's not in your echo chamber, so you doubt it. I've seen friends I really admire, and they said, well, there's nothing wrong with this information presented, but this person supports a political candidate I don't like, so I'm not going to trust them. It's really interesting. You know, it's kind of like, wow, we're into a place where actually we're less intellectual in a sense. We're much more tribalistic, sort of. Oh, they're on my team, you know, they're cool, they're not. You know, it's just like, well, at the end of the day, you never know who's going to end up helping you and who's going to be your real friend. I mean, Bob Marley said it so well. Your worst enemy could be your best friend, and your best friend could be your worst enemy. And I mean, this is a time where you just learn how to get into your heart. And Leos have this notorious reputation for being super generous. And this is kind of like your generosity, being your heart season, loving your children season. That doesn't sound too bad, does it? Greetings, Virgo, and welcome to your horoscope. You know, relationships are really sensitive. And so we've got Neptune and Saturn in the seventh house. And it's like, I think when I see two outer planets that move slowly in all your relationships. You know, just use that kind of caution. Now, Sagittarius rules the home environment. And you know, a lot of times, especially if you're like 40 degrees north latitude or further north, we kind of stay at home a lot. You know, it's not that pleasant to be outside always. You know, I mean, here in Northern California, maybe like in Spain, there's a couple of exceptions, you know, where we get some nice days still in the wintertime, but overall, it's dark though, and introspection. Older people, paying attention to older people, your ancestors, what were their traditions? All of these things mean more during this period. Now, Mercury, of course, going direct, it's going to help. You know, it's going to help you clean up your house, make it look nicer. Things are going to move forward this weekend in good ways for you. And I see a lot of positivity. Well, greetings, Libra, and welcome to your horoscope. I mean, it's rough having a relationship where there's like maybe a communication boundary or a cultural boundary. And I look at the North Node a lot different than most Western astrologers because of my Vedic astrology background, and I kind of understand the mythos of it and how, and I've seen it firsthand. You know, when there's eclipses, lunar or solar, but especially solar, things get blocked out. I mean, there isn't that happening right now, but Libra's in a relationship, you know, a relationship with the North Node, and K2 is in the first house. So there's a lot of gut feeling things that you have right now that kind of give you anxiety. Venus in Aquarius is kind of nice for you, and it makes that thing that maybe this exotic difference is a blessing, and I should just be grateful and try to understand people beyond words. It's really nice to just sit with people sometimes, even in quiet, and just feel their energy, you know, go through a discovery. You can hold hands, it's even nicer. And just like things like that don't have to be sexual. We live in this really hypersexual world, and it's like intimacy is something that we should have with our parents or children. It's not sexual intimacy, but it is a physical and spiritual intimacy of closeness. That's why we share hugs. That's why we shake hands. And we need more appropriate touch. It helps the immune system and it helps people feel better. Greetings, Scorpio. Welcome to your horoscope. Now, in the world of relationships, things have been kind of unpredictable. Mars is retrograde in your career house, and so sometimes you might feel like it's harder for you to work as hard as you want to at work right now, that you have to go back and do things over. And with Mercury in your second house, retrograde, you're like, I mean, one thing I like about Mercury in Sagittarius is it's sort of like the king of slang and expressions and colloquialisms. It's actually kind of fun. And Sagittarius is sort of like this joker. And there's a lot of Scorpios that are like comedians and stuff, like Sinbad. You know, they got a sense of humor, and most of them really want to have more nuanced humor. I mean, a lot of them are really sensitive, and some of them, you know, have like wet toilet paper, thin skin, and they won't put up with anything. But not all of them. A lot of them are just bigger than that, and they want to live in a big world where people can take a joke and be okay with it. And so I think like any kind of misunderstanding in your family is more likely to get resolved during this time. And that the full moon is going to have an effect on you in that you won't be in control of things. It's just a really good time to be an observer, but maybe you'll see some really good behavior because the moon and Jupiter are together. And Jupiter really helps make everything bigger, but it also helps kind of bless things and put things in better conduct. Well, greetings, Sagittarius, and welcome to your horoscope. So, you've got Mercury in the first house with the Sun, and Mercury's about to go direct. And then we've got full moon that's going to be in Gemini, and that's your relationship house. And so it could be incredibly romantic. It could be incredibly sweet. I mean, this is your season. You've got the power, and greetings to my friend in Texas, John Travaris. I think it's his birthday on Saturday, so happy birthday to you. And also happy birthday to Holly. I think today's Holly's birthday. And I want to wish Holly Charles, now married to Amid. She's a wonderful mother of 3. And I believe she's 44 today, so it's wonderful. And other people having birthdays this week. I appreciate you, and I'll probably hear from you. Yeah, I think that, this is a good week. It's a little more introspective. You're probably going to travel, take some risks, may have to take a detour, but I think ultimately everything's going to be fine. Greetings, Capricorn, welcome to your horoscope. So, this weekend might be a little more challenging for you. You got work to do. It's a lot of detail stuff. You can make some good karma. I'd say making a donation this week is going to help you. And being more friendly with your siblings could go a long ways with Saturn in the 3rd house. The other thing is that, this is your last week of the Sun being in your 12th house. So things kind of fall apart a little bit when the Sun's in the 12th house. You're more introspect. If you're in the ashram or a monastery or some spiritual retreat, you're doing great. You're doing exactly what you need to do. And if you just need more alone time, that's completely fine. But, once we get, let's see, when does winter solstice? We haven't even talked about that yet. So that happens on Saturday at 1:21 a.m. So really, next Friday is the last day you have to deal with the 12th house. So good things are coming. Well. Greetings, Aquarius. Welcome to your horoscope. So Pluto and Venus have been together, although Venus is moving away from Pluto, which in a lot of ways is a relief because it's like, okay, love can flow in a more freer way. And one of the things I think about with Venus is in Aquarius is sort of like the sign of social gatherings. And there's all these holiday parties. And I really think that since the pandemic, or whatever you want to call it, I like to call it the damn panic, because that's pretty much when fear is used to promote products and to destroy businesses and things like that. It's, and you may completely disagree with me, and that's completely okay. You have every right to do that. That's why I love the principles of the country I was raised in, which is freedom of speech and is agree to disagree without hating each other. And I think real Aquarians, that's always been their game. That's always been where they're at. It's like, you know what? I appreciate people that see things differently than me. I still love them. We can't all see things the same. In fact, the different points of view makes for a richer experience. So, but because Venus has been in Aquarius, the parties are good, and you're kind of like the life of the party. And this has been 11th house transit. That's also a party. So, Aquarius, make the party good, and be that inclusive person that welcomes everybody. All right, greetings, Pisces. Welcome to your horoscope. It's been tough, because you're in a position of some amount of authority and running things, and it's not always easy to get the message across. And so, I think everybody's got their place, though, where something crosses the line in their minds. Now, for you, work is heavier during Sagittarius season. So you've got a lot of career, end of the year stuff that you have to work on and get them wound up. You also have to pay attention to your physical health with Mars retrograde. And, sometimes we have to just get up again after being knocked down. So that's part of this experience. The other thing is, full moon, you'll be more likely to be in an introspective space. If there's a mother in your life still, she really comes into view during this week. That's super important to think about her. And, there's just a lot of things that are changing about what you intuit, what you're sensing spiritually is right. And that, when Mercury goes direct, you may have to speak up for yourself at work this week. But with that said, I want this all to be in love. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for giving me those comments. Always love hearing from you. You're amazing people. And I know you're going to do amazing things. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat.